I performed an unintentional test of yield versus planting time this year with my Violleta Favas, and here are the results. In this first one, I planted on 10/7. I got 2.2 kilograms of Favas, and this is a single bed. There were 18 Favas planted, and this is actually a really big container. You can see how big it is by my hand. The interesting thing is it actually got an extra round of blooms, and it had a lot of early growth because it was planted about 2 months before my first frost. So the extra growth and the extra time for an extra round of blooms really gave me a high boost in yield. The second one I planted a month later. You can see it's 10/7 for this one. It's 11/18 for this one. So a month and a week later. It's the same fava, same amount of favas planted in a row, but I got a lot less. From 2.2, I went down to 0.4. Now I estimate about 75% of this is squirrel damage. And what's happening here is, for this one, it dried and I harvested before the squirrels were highly active in my environment. So that was 3/28. But in this one, I harvested at 5/15, and by then they were being stripped, and I noticed it in time to actually get some. These were going quick. I probably got most of the damage in 2 weeks worth of time. But that resulted in 0.4 kilograms. So didn't have as much time, as much flowering as that one. Didn't have that extra round. And then the squirrel damage took it down. The last one you can see is invisible because there's none of it. I planted it a month later, a month and a week later. You can see 12/23. The problem here was gopher damage. The plants were so green that it didn't have any woodiness to it, and the gophers just stripped them and took them completely into the ground. I just watched over a week. They pull each one under each day, and all 18 fava plants disappeared before anything dried. So, in conclusion, first off, plant at 10/7 or before. This year I want to try something like 9/7 to see if it gives me a benefit over 10/7, because that's a lot. It may not. It may dry too early and the rains may cause them to mold. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm going to try that. So planting time, and then also when the pests come out, you can see planting time and pest time need to be lined up well. Anyway, that's your yield versus planting time.